So Sophie has been at VES almost as long as I have, which for her is forever, and for me just sometimes feels that way. So when I think of my VES experience, Sophie's always been part of it. I got to see her navigate the tricky world of growing up on the VES campus. I got to see her kind of mastering the struggles that happen in middle school, and then of course the uncertainty of being a student, a faculty kid at VES. If you know Sophie, you could easily frame her in terms of her intelligence, her creativity, her leadership, or about 50 other wonderful things. But I know you're here to listen to Sophie, not to me, so I'm going to narrow it down to just one. And the one that really makes Sophie such an important part of our community, and that's that Sophie always acts with kindness and empathy. And I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say always. She really does. She's the first one to notice if someone's having a bad day, and she's the first one to offer congratulations if there's something to be celebrated. Sophie's always looking outward, just doing everything that she can to make sure that everybody in the community is taken care of and that everybody in the community is noticed. And for that, we should all be grateful. Sophie.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sophie Csatlo. You may have seen me giving various announcements or doing duty on Perkins or Wyatt, at the advisory table, or in Hopkins Writing Center. You may even know that I ride horses, or love to read, or that my mom taught, or is teaching, your critical thinking class. But before today, you probably didn't know another very important fact about me. I grew up on this campus. I started off in the little house on the right-hand side of Wyatt, then moved to where the Rems live, attached to McCormick, and finally to where the Lafreniere family lives now, next to the Buttons. That small triangle of homes consumes so much of who I have become, and that's because I let it. The little Sophie living at VES was a complicated girl. Her hair stopped right before her collarbone and managed to cruelly highlight her gapped front teeth. She spent her days teaching younger faculty kids how to do handstands or convincing them to join her running club. Ironic, I know. She spent her nights hidden under lavender covers, reading Little Women or Canterwood Crest or some other random tattered book passed down from her mom. She loved horses and felt really deep anger when Chris Bocci, Mr. Button, called her pony Butterscotch or Gumdrop when he knew her name was Silverbell. If she got a grade under 100%, life was over. She would drop into her purple beanbag chair, hug the nearest stuffed animal, and cry over the severe disappointment that her teachers must have felt. Whenever she felt sad or angry or tired, her Uppa would decide that she needed a walk. They would stroll together, often barefoot, around campus, and little Sophie would watch in awe at the effortless laughs and conversations held between the high schoolers. She would take those extra few steps to get as close as possible to them, as if she could absorb some of their coolness. It never worked. After her walks, she would lay on the big sectional couch in the basement, put on Girl Meets World, and cuddle with her dog, hoping that once she started high school, she would be just as uniquely cool as Riley was. Do you all remember how magical high school seemed when you were 10 or 11 or 12? Why did we lose that perspective? Obviously, the perfect Troy and Gabriella breaking into song, summers working at a golf course is utter fiction, but we're high schoolers. All those movies, all those shows, that's us. I wonder how much more magical our experience here could be if we just kept a bit more of our little selves and their sparkly idea of high school with us. Little Sophie would be so proud of the beautifully organized notes that she was taught to take by Dr. Knavel, the best advisor. Little Sophie would grin her gappy little grin so wide to see the incredible friend group that she's finally found after years spent in elementary and middle school trying to fit in with the exclusionary popular girls. She would be enthralled by the depth of the Harkness discussions in Miss Jameson's class and would be so proud that she finally decided to do the musical senior year. She would be very confused by high school Sophie's acceptance of a low B on the first AP Comp essay, or her decision to sometimes leave some homework for the free period before it's due, instead of completing it right when assigned, but she can get over it. I think our little selves have some really important things to say, and pushing them away because we're mature and old now is just dumb. Even at 11 years old, little Sophie knew that being outside can cure any temporary bad news, that her neighbors, your teachers, are some of the smartest, coolest people around, that the fact that students are here from all over the world is insanely cool, that a room is incomplete without stuffed animals, and that Sophie Violet Csatlo is not Sophie Violet Csatlo without horses. Don't get me wrong, high school struggles will not be erased if we just decide to embrace our little selves a bit more. Exam week will always be terrifying. Some days will just be bad, and we can have lasting mental health issues that a simple walk or dance party cannot fully cure. We need to remember, though, that those kid-like traits, like having a little meltdown, looking to older kids or adults for support, or just needing some time alone, are all still so helpful for us today. Don't be afraid to feel angry or stressed or just done. Let yourself feel strongly, because I promise that will make it feel better faster. When I first came to VES, I refused to share my emotions with my friends. I let my anxiety, stress, and sadness build and build until finally I felt there was no choice but to call Porter, sobbing. I felt as if I had failed. I thought of myself as a friend that helped other people, not the one that should ever need help. Now, in my senior year, I will stroll into Hopkins Writing Center, my home base, and let out a huge sigh. Go hug whichever of my friends is laying on the couch at the time, and just share whatever I'm feeling, knowing they feel comfortable doing the exact same thing. How beautifully childlike is that? As a 10-year-old, I was never scared to say when I was angry with the world, or my parents, or my friends. Letting out your feelings, even if it seems childish, can save you from that bubbling over feeling, which we all know is truly the worst. So whenever you're feeling bored or underwhelmed or tired of VES and all of its flawed beauty, try and take a step back and listen more to little you. Feel that anger about that dumb quiz grade or that stress about an upcoming presentation, but also feel that magical wonder. You are a high schooler. You go to a beautiful school with amazing teachers and opportunities to make friends that you will keep close forever. Whenever I'm feeling all that negativity towards our school, I try to let little Sophie take over a bit. I let her feel so astounded by the friendships she has made, feel so much awe over the classes she gets to take, and wonder that after so many years spent yearning to finally be in high school, she's now in her final year with only 159 days total left until graduation. I allow her to feel that crushing sadness about leaving her friends soon, leaving her brother, Sawyer, who she will always love, and always slightly resent for being prettier than her, for leaving her Uppa and all his crazy obsessions, ham radio and watches, to name a few, leaving her mommy, who has never failed to be her biggest inspiration, leaving her farm and her afternoon chores and her many, many pets. I will also allow her to feel that sparkly excitement for her college years to come, the new friendships she will create, and the friends, some of whom she has been in school with since she was 4, that she knows will stay with her forever. All of this to say, we are humans, and we all feel so many things each and every day. Don't be afraid to let little you feel all the excitement about being in high school, but don't be afraid to express all that stress, sadness, and anger that comes with these years either. Those movies and shows definitely lied about a lot, but they did not lie about everything. High school really is magical sometimes. We just have to let it be. Thank you.